Hey y'all, so I thought I would come back. I've been trying to keep myself busy while I get my hair done. It's kind of difficult for me to constant. Can you please close the door? Thank you. Thank you, hon. Okay. So it's been kind of difficult for me to focus on my hair, and it helps me focus to come on here and talk. So for some reason, Spirit just all of a sudden wanted me to talk about Bill Cosby, and the fact that Bill Cosby sacrificed all of his children. I think he had two of them, and that both of his children were sacrificed. And I was talking about this the other day when I was talking about the other devil, Kirk Franklin. The reason why Bill Cosby ended up going to prison for what he went to prison for is because him sacrificing his children actually backfired on him. One of them, I think he just had him killed. It wasn't even a mysterious circumstance. His son Ennis died, I think because of a violent crime. Yeah, he was robbed. That was a setup. Bill Cosby was not the man that y'all thought he was. His daughter as well. His daughter died mysteriously a few years ago. And it probably can't ever be proven that he did that, but he did do that. It was, from what I can see, is that it was a part of his contract, but that he actually uh he actually got seduced. Now, from what Spirit is showing me is also that Bill Cosby, y'all know Bill Cosby was he was an attractive man when he was younger. Then when he got older, so he was actually jealous of his son. The daughter was sacrificed just because he didn't give a damn about either one of his kids. I know that's probably a hard pill to swallow, but and see, here's the thing about famous people. You can't just assume that they're good people just because they play a role on a TV show. Just like you can't assume that they're bad just because they play a bad role. That's just like with what's her name? Um the one that played Nikki Parker. Can't think of her. For some reason I can't think of her name right now. Monique, she's actually really bitter over her career being messed up because of the role that she played in Precious. Um so the same thing, just because she played that role in Precious doesn't mean that she's a bad person like that. But some people, I think that some roles that they can take in Hollywood can actually ruin their career, and that role ruined her career because people were looking at her and they felt like I don't know. I just know that after she did that role, it ruined her career. And she was actually going places until she took that role. So just because Bill Cosby played the Huxtable dad and stuff, that was just a TV show. Okay. These people that are behind these, roles that they put on in Hollywood is not always what you think it is. Now, I did ask why From what I can see is that he had mental problems that people didn't know about, that Bill Cosby had a lot of mental problems that nobody knew about, including Munchausen. He was suffering from that as well, including Munchausen, is what Spirit is showing me. Um, and I'm thinking that it does have something to do with Hollywood or whatever. It does have something to do with something that is going on in Hollywood as to why that is happening. But I mean, when I initially had heard about something happening to his son, I instantly knew that he had something to do with it. Like, it was no doubt in my mind. And this was before everybody started exposing this stuff that was happening in Hollywood. And why do they do it? They do it for the money. They do it for the money. It's called a blood sacrifice. Okay. It's called a blood sacrifice, is what it's called. And, that's why he ended up going to jail. It backfired on him really bad. The moral, and you know what? I will tell you that all of them, one by one, are gonna, especially these ones that it's gonna happen to them one by one. All of that stuff is gonna come to the light, and it's gonna happen. They're gonna end up, getting their karma for what they did. This is something that's hidden in plain sight. I think what is it called? Parent to child murder or something, or you know, um, it's gonna come to the light. All of them that are doing stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And people gonna find out that money, you don't have to do that for money, but for a person to do something like that for money in the first place, they must be messed up in the head. Now, his daughter died of cancer. Bill Cosby daughter.
Bill Cosby's daughters included Lisa Cosby, Evan Hara Cosby, and two others.
So he has four children total. He didn't sacrifice all of them, but two of them. Now, one other theory is that what we didn't realize is that Bill Cosby don't even look like himself, not even as a young person. Y'all know that they be cloning these people too. That's why I would never want to go nowhere near Hollywood, because it's also suspected that some of them end up getting cloned. So the original person will be dead. And his daughter died at the age of 44. Okay, which is a significant number anytime it's a double number like that. And I think she died of cancer, but it was some kind of setup. Renal disease. She died from renal disease at the age of 44. And what is renal disease? Let's look up what that is exactly. It's when your kidneys shut down. She must have had kidney issues. Okay. But somehow spirits is saying that that was a Illuminati sacrifice, so to speak. I don't know. I totally like, and you got to think, Felicia Rashad and so many other people in Hollywood spoke up for this man. And he's that's evil. That's evil to sacrifice your children for fame. That's evil. Okay? And why would it even be necessary? I guess it's just that Hollywood thing. Why are these sacrifices even necessary? It's not even necessary. I just think that these people are murderers is what I think it is. I just think that they're murderers. Personally, and I think that they get with these other murderers. You know what I'm saying? And would I have ever imagined? Now, why did he end up going to jail for a sex crime? Well, because they can't really there's no proof of that. There's no proof that he there's no proof that he did that. There's nobody talking about it. There's some people that are talking about it probably or suspected it, that he blood sacrificed his kids, but and the other ones, I think that his other children may be a little bit younger, but they better watch out, and I don't know. I think he's done with that. I think that he's learned his lesson because he's sitting up in prison for raping a bunch of white women. Bill Cosby totally fell from grace. It has nothing to do with his race. They didn't do that because a lot of people saying, oh, they just trying to destroy Bill Cosby. No, these are the decisions that he made when he went into whatever it was that he was trying to do. These are the decisions that he made. This has nothing to do with slavery or white people against black people. So y'all got to be careful with who it is that y'all defend, because y'all be defending these people sometimes and you just don't know them. You just don't know what type of person that they are. You know what I'm saying? You just really never know what a person could actually be capable of. And so a lot of people, when you hear about these famous people that do stuff like that, and you be like, oh, that person would never do that, or I don't believe that. I believe that it's all about racism and all of that. But people that don't do stuff like that, they don't go through that. You know what I'm saying? He's not an innocent man. But I think that what they were exposing him for was being this totally sick person behind the scenes that you didn't realize was actually a very sick person, a very diabolical person who, put up a front. And you can't, like, a lot of people will get mad and they'll start getting angry and they'll start defending because you think that you're defending innocent people, but you're actually not defending innocent people. You are actually defending, just a really terrible person. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why he went down like that. Like, if a demon takes over your mind and starts telling you all kind of crazy shit to do, what you have to do is you have to realize that you are being tricked. And I think that a lot of them ended up being tricked into doing stuff like that. There's a lot of people that would never hurt their children. You know what I'm saying? And, it has nothing to do with their race. It's just some people are just evil. Some people just have that, thing inside of them and he was a cancer. Bill Cosby is a cancer. So, I don't know what's up with these people in Hollywood, why they do the stuff that they do, why it would be worth it. and why is it even fair for them to do that? And I think that it's just because they make the wrong decisions. Okay. Because there's a lot of people that would never do that. You know what I'm saying? I know that for me, if somebody offered me $10 billion, I would never do that to my family. There is no amount of money that would be worth you selling nobody's soul or nothing like that. It's not even worth it. It's just going to generationally hex your family. And some people are descendants of that and they go through hell because of that. Some people have stuff that may have happened generationally in their family 2 or 3 generations ago, and those spirits will come back up, and they'll even mess with your family generationally. But you have to have enough sense to know, okay, I'm not gonna believe you. I don't believe what you're saying. See, there's some people that they'll get made an offer by a demon and they won't know the correct decision to make. Okay. God will be telling you, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. But that demon will be telling you, no, do it, do it, do it. And there's some people, they just make bad judgment. They just make bad judgment. You know what I'm saying? And it keeps getting exposed over and over again. I can tell you that I make the money that I want, and I ain't never thought about sacrificing none of my children, and never would. I don't understand why people, but they've been doing it. They've been doing it. I think that slowly but surely the world and people just became more and more corrupt, is what I think happened or happens in the world, is that people just become more and more corrupt. When it's like, spirit will tell you, they'll say, well, why is this even necessary? Why is it necessary? So I don't know. You got to keep your heart light as a feather. I know that much. I've been telling people, clean it up, clean it up, clean up your act. But death is final. You know, when somebody's trying to kill you or takes an attempt on your life, that's kind of final. That's kind of like some really crazy stuff that goes beyond, anything else. You know what I'm saying? When you actually take an attempt on a person's life like that, that's very serious. And it shouldn't be taken lightly. If somebody does something to, you know, and I don't know, like, as far as how I feel about it, I feel like if you keep yourself as clean as possible, then you'll be okay. But if you're doing stuff like that, this is gonna create hell in your life, and you can't listen to demons that tell you to do stuff like that. And that's the problem. That's just like people that go out and kill people. There's a demonic. I believe that it's typically demonic entities that's making you do that, especially like when people, like, how like this whole gang stalking thing, and how you may be thinking, "Ooh, I want to kill these people." Oh my God, I can't stand them. Y'all gonna make me do something crazy. I wouldn't let them drive me to that, because that means that demon won. You know what I'm saying? I was hearing somebody else that was talking about, certain stuff. Some people will encourage you to throw your life away. There is never anything worth, throwing your life away or somebody else's. Okay? It's not. It's nothing. Nothing is worth that. It's not even necessary to do that. When we were given this earth, we were given an abundance of bounty. So the earth, even though we know that people live and people die, but when people are shutting down people's lives like that, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of, and Bill Cosby's children were not of any harm to him either. They were not threatening him or anything. They weren't a threat to him at all. So, and I think that's why people in general just have an issue with Hollywood, and you got people that want to be like Hollywood, but be yourself. You know what I'm saying? You don't really want that, even though it may look fun, the being in the limelight and all of that, it's never worth taking the life of your loved ones. It's never worth that. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that bad stuff can't happen to people, because yeah, bad stuff can happen to people, but the whole reason why we are even aware of these Hollywood sacrifices is because they do happen. They happen even outside of Hollywood, you know? So make and neither one of Bill Cosby's children were aware of it either. They weren't aware, they weren't in on it. They were just innocent children that he created so that he could sacrifice them. Okay? That's pretty much what it was. Y'all don't have to believe me if y'all don't want to, because I know a lot of people are extremely overprotective of Bill Cosby, but you're only overprotective of the image of Dr. Huxtable. That's it. And Dr. Huxtable doesn't exist. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't real. It was a TV show that he played. And even though he was depicting the role of a positive black man, which is good. You know what I'm saying? More black men do need to see themselves in a better position in life. But I mean, there's been black doctors throughout history. We didn't need to see a fake TV show. Like, there are a lot of black doctors out there. You know what I'm saying? There are black doctors. Are there very many? As we know the struggle of black folks in America, but I'm just telling y'all what I know. I think that it is going to come out. Okay. I think that something probably is going to be exposed about that, especially his son, Ennis, because he was murdered in a robbery. That was obviously murder. Because if somebody's just trying to rob you, they just trying to rob you. They rob you. But he was killed. He was killed when so it was a direct hit on Bill Cosby's son. Okay. It was a direct hit on him being murdered like that during a robbery. So, you know, anyway, y'all not chatting. That's just what I wanted to tell y'all real quick. I guess I can come back and we'll get more so into it. But, Bill Cosby was, even though he didn't really talk about his religion, he was more so into Satanism. Even though he probably was Christian, he was more so into the Satan part of it. You know what I'm saying? He was more so into the dark arts of that, and that's why his children ended up the way that they ended up. And the daughter that died of renal disease, she actually her kidneys were bad. I haven't confirmed this, but it was probably because he probably was drugging her too. Okay, because he was into having sex with people that were drugged and passed out. Okay. So you can only imagine probably what was going on. And that's probably why that woman had bad kidneys, because she was probably being, given drugs over time or something. I can sense that that, I can sense a lot of drugging that he was doing in his actual real life, drugging a lot of people, drugging them. And so y'all got to be careful. I ain't even gonna say what I want to say. Nobody should be drugging anybody. Person that would even think to even do something like that. Come on now. So it also exposed people, giving people pharmaceuticals without their knowledge. You shouldn't be doing that. Okay. I don't know. But okay, y'all. That's all I wanted. Y'all not in the chat saying nothing. So I'm going to go. I don't have anything else to say about it. I'll see y'all later. Peace and love.